Happy Monday, everyone. Yeah, we're back. We ate like fiends and drank like ghouls, and now we're back at work asking the makeup people to hide our neck fat. Except for Kat. For her, a 4-day Thanksgiving bender is just 3 days shy of her normal week. Tyrus is back, and this is how he cooked his Thanksgiving turkey. There we go. Joe Mackey is here. Good to see you, Joe. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he gets applause. He was just on tour. He just got back. Here's one audience reaction to his stand-up. Yep. Is that good? Now, sometimes in the media, you end up in dangerous places. The weird thing is, often the dangerous places the media goes to were mainly created by the media themselves. It's like someone having a bad acid trip. It's totally self-induced. Kat understands. Take last year's riots. The media bravely covered it, calling it mostly peaceful because nothing says mostly peaceful like a man shot dead protecting his business. That giant lie handicapped the police, so they couldn't do a damn thing to stop the riots without being accused of attacking mostly peaceful protesters. The media protected the mob, so the cities burned and people died. And this moved beyond the riots to a nationwide crime wave. Because as long as you dismiss the crime, you create more crime. You can do it with words. Here's a recent tweet by CNN. Waukesha will hold a moment of silence today, marking 1 week since a car drove through a city Christmas parade, killing 6 people and injuring scores of others. So, a car drove through a parade. Not a racist madman, but a car. Thank God it didn't have a driver. It could have been worse. This from a network that takes pains to uncover any human responsible for a silly meme that hurts their feelings. But here, a massacre is caused by an inanimate object. They blame it on a curling iron if they thought they could get away with it. And suddenly the media is no longer interested in domestic terrorism. They'll also label a black politician a white supremacist. But when the suspect has more racist social media than Louis Farrakhan, it's the car at fault. But you get it. When you're in the media, identifying who is responsible must be avoided if it makes you seem racist to the activist class. So focus on the object and hope the public is as stupid as you think it is. You can run over a Christmas parade and kill twice as many people as the Boston Marathon bombers, and they'll call it an accident. The soft bigotry of low expectations turns into crime and murder because they believe minorities are responsible for themselves. Now we have organized looting. The question isn't why it's happening, it's why the hell not. If you're a criminal, it's like stealing Stevie Wonder's French fries. This risk is tiny compared to mugging or drug dealing. Here you can easily overrun a business and steal $900 worth of stuff per person. That's the law in California. So forget robbing a guy coming off a shift at Arby's. All you get is $50 and you end up smelling like a roast beef sandwich. They now have decriminalized crime and the risk is nil. They might as well advertise it on TV. It's Black Friday every day and everything's marked down 100%. The first 100 customers busting through a storefront window gets a flat screen and victim status. The media will say don't call it looting because that's racist. Perhaps even covering these crimes at all is racist too. Criminals understand this, as they see Democrats are more worried about protecting people from old statues than active crime scenes. As retail dies, Amazon must be grinning until the next wave goes after their drivers. They'll be the new stagecoaches, but instead of guns, their drivers will defend themselves with bottles of urine. Now, if you're in the media, chances are you're protected. As I tape this show, we have security. They make sure the fans in this audience don't attack me, which happens when you're this sexy. Some nights I feel like Tom Jones trying to get to his dressing room at the Sahara. You 80-year-olds know what I mean. But we have security, especially when we go outside, like when Jesse gets his hair cut. Supercuts can get chaotic, especially since Jesse never tips. But what happens to those who try to protect the media from the story that they try to cover? Kevin Nishida, a security guard, was shot and killed trying to protect the KRON TV news crew while covering a smash and grab in the Bay Area. As he tried to stop thugs trying to steal the crew's equipment, he was murdered. He was a former cop who just retired. He had a wife and kids. Unlike AOC's criminals, he was actually trying to feed his family. Will this wake the media up that crime is out of control when those helping you cover it lose their lives? Will his death remind the media that there's a cost in redefining crime as a form of protest? Will his death have any effect on those who see crime as a joke, like Seth Rogen? When a guy on Twitter claimed he was robbed in LA, Rogen blamed the victim, saying, "Don't leave anything valuable in the car. It's called living in a big city." He added he'd been robbed before, and that, quote, "Once a guy accidentally left a cool knife in my car, so if it keeps happening, you might get a little treat." The guy's so out of touch, he pretends being a crime victim is delightful. No wonder he's typecast as an idiot. But what if the next time that knife is left not in your car, but in your back? Seth hasn't had to think about that. He's rich. It's easy for him to rebound from victimization. Plus, he's always armed with box office poison. Now, just imagine if our detectives ignored victims when they report crimes.
I hear you're the best detective in town, and I want to hire you.
What for, Duds?
My store. 15 people robbed it yesterday.
Oh, this is the big city. That's a misdemeanor. Get used to it.
But I'm ruined. They took everything.
What you dames don't understand is when you move out of the sticks, you gotta take the good with the bad. The bad is you're constantly being robbed, you're overtaxed, and homeless people poop in your yard. The good is, hey, we used to have restaurants. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm moving to Texas. I gotta help Beto O'Rourke get a personality.
I have no idea what accent that was, but I liked it. Now, maybe the media should consider the sacrifice made by people like Mr. Nishida so that they could cover their stories. Nishida was shot dead by a thug. Or as CNN might describe it, a bullet drove through the air and struck a man who happened to be in its path. Let's welcome